Hey photographers, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Nate Torres. In today's video, I'll be covering 5 fitness portrait photography tips, as well as showing some behind the scenes footage I did during a fitness photo shoot with my subject, Svetlana. And make sure to stick around for the last tip, as that is, in my opinion, the secret to fitness photography. So let's dive right in. The first fitness photography tip I have is to know your setting. If you're shooting fitness photos, then you'll most likely be in a gym of some sorts. Make sure you take the time to familiarize yourself with all of the different equipment and props you can use in the gym. For example, during this fitness shoot, we shot at a 9 rounds fitness boxing gym. I had no idea what was in this gym, so I did a quick search online and looked at the pictures inside the gym. I saw they had different boxing equipment such as a heavy bag, a speed bag, and even weights. By researching and knowing what the setting was that the shoot would take place in, I was already able to visualize what we could use in the photos. I believe fitness photo shoots should involve more than just headshots and full body shots in the middle of a gym. Your subject should be interacting with the environment. They should be using a machine, using a piece of equipment, etc. This will help to add to the story of the image and make it more natural looking. So with all that being said, make sure to research and know what your setting looks like so you aren't walking into the shoot blind. And if it's your first fitness shoot and you're really nervous, check out the setting a few days before the shoot. I've done this before, and this also applies to any style of portraits and not just fitness. It'll help ease your nerves and make you more confident come the day of the shoot. The second fitness photography tip I have is to ensure the outfits your subject wears aligns with the shoot. For example, if you're doing a fitness yoga shoot, then your subject should probably be in yoga clothing. If you're doing a tennis fitness shoot, then your subject should probably be in tennis clothes. Well, let's say you're photographing a specific fitness shoot for a specific activity, and the subject is wearing improper shoes for the activity, like street shoes on a track. It could throw off the whole aesthetic, story, and theme of the shoot. In this case, my fitness shoot was in a boxing gym, so my subject should probably wear sporty looking clothing and definitely have boxing gloves and wraps. In my case, Svetlana does boxing at this gym already, so she already knew what would be appropriate to wear, as she has seen what other people in the gym wear as well. So if you're photographing a fitness shoot and you don't know what outfit aligns with the activity, ask your subject or do a quick online search and look at the images for some inspiration. My whole point with this tip is to make sure you do the research. The third fitness photography tip I have is to make sure the poses make sense with the activity. This tip ties in with the last 2 tips of just making sure you do your research. I have 2 things to mention regarding the poses. The first is to make sure your subject has a natural looking pose. A big part of fitness photography is capturing the subject in activity, whether that be lifting a weight, hitting a ball, kicking a ball, or punching a heavy bag. You'll want to ensure that your subject has proper form and looks like they actually participate in that activity. So if it's a fitness shoot, it usually involves some type of physical movement and action. Make sure your subject is a little warmed up before the shoot and that they stretch and are aware of all the poses they will be doing before the shoot. You should be in constant communication with your subject leading up to the shoot, and not only for the poses, but also for the outfit as mentioned in the previous tip. The second thing I have to mention regarding the poses is to do a few practice runs before photographing. Have the subject perform the motion like 1 to 2 times before you even lift up your camera. This will allow your subject to warm up to the activity and allows both of you to nail the pose down before capturing it. And a pro tip, make sure you tell your subject to keep a neutral face without too much strain. You don't want to have your subject perform an activity with perfect form but have a strained, grimacing face. This one is up to your subject though. That's why it's good to practice the motion a couple times before actually shooting so they can practice and keep these things in mind before you start clicking away. And if this involves having your subject lift a weight, make sure it's a weight that's light to them or that they can easily handle. They shouldn't be going for a personal record during the shoot. And if it's a physical activity like holding a yoga pose or a kick in the air, then make sure you have all your camera settings and light settings dialed in so you're ready to go. Don't have your subject strike the pose and then have to wait for you. Have everything ready and then give a brief countdown to your subject to hit the pose and capture the shot. The fourth tip for fitness photography is to use some type of moisturizing spray. When you're engaged in a type of fitness activity, most of the time you're sweating. Moisturizing spray helps give your skin that shiny, moisturized look without having to actually get sweaty. By having your subject add this spray to their skin, it adds that cherry on top to ensure the theme and aesthetic of the shoot come together, especially with everything we've already discussed, such as the pose, the outfit, etc. There are many good moisturizing sprays out there, such as Aquaphor. Just do a quick search online and you'll find plenty. Luckily, Svetlana had a moisturizing spray that also had a light tanner in it as well to add some orange and color to her skin, so that was perfect. The fifth and final fitness photography tip I have is regarding the light setup. In my opinion, this is a secret ingredient that will make your fitness photography look high grade. So the light setup I usually run for fitness photo shoots is a 2-light setup with a studio light softbox as my key light and a speed light that acts as a rim light. I place the lights opposite of each other. What this does is the key light will provide the main light on your subject and the rim light will add contour to your subject's muscle and body. I used to shoot fitness portraits with just a key light, but it wasn't until I added in the rim light that I noticed it really makes a difference. The rim light creates a better outline and highlights my subject, adding separation between them and the background, and more depth. If you don't have two lights, then try to use a window or light coming in through a glass as your key light, and then use your one light as the rim light. But I would recommend that if you have a fitness portrait shoot coming up, that you just invest in the lights, because you can also use them for other portrait shoots outside of fitness photography like I do. For example, I use the Godox TT600 as my speed light that acts as my rim light, and it's around $65 right now. I use the Godox SL60W as my main key light with a softbox, and that is around $140 right now. If you want to check out those lights, I'll have a link to them in the description box down below. So the speed light is definitely on the lower end in terms of pricing, and the studio light is a little more, but I'd say they're well worth the investment, especially compared to the price of new lenses or cameras. If anything, I always recommend upgrading your lighting equipment first, then lenses, then cameras. Because you can still shoot great images with a budget lens and camera if you have good lighting. I mean, heck, you can even shoot great phone photos with a proper lighting setup. So those are my 5 fitness photography tips. If you guys found the video helpful, consider liking and subscribing to my channel for more portrait photography tips, tricks, and behind the scenes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.